Welcome to Unhinged Magi! Alright, we're going to talk about a very serious topic. Ecosystems. Ecosystems happen all the time, especially out in the wild. There's like lions, cats, dogs, piñatas from Fortnite. It's like a dangerous scenario. There's also buying and selling ecosystems, and they're not even alive. But we're going to talk about that today because of eBay.
Yep. So we just did a video just a little while ago where eBay changed some of their policies, where they're actually going to have an escrow service that authenticates cards, and it's in the middle of the buyer and the seller. And it's in this video, we should link right up here, that we just did. This video is actually going to be talking about the impact of that. So if you don't know about what that topic is, you might want to go back and watch that last video. Maybe we could do a quick 30-second recap, though.
Okay. In the beginning, there was a light. Then eBay made an announcement of that they were going to authenticate cards. And then people would send them in.
So maybe I'll do this summary. So quickly put, at a level of $750 and above for a single card sold on eBay, those auctions have to go to the escrow service that authenticates the cards, verifies they're real, and there's a level of protection there for the buyer and the seller. And it's
huge level of protection.
The best benefit is going to be for the smaller eBay accounts that didn't have a ton of feedback and people were scared to trust them. But there's a lot of other benefits as well. But this video is talking about what impact is that going to have to the ecosystem of Magic, actually.
Yeah, it should have a really high impact.
Should.
Because if you look at where you want to be, if you really want to be perfectly safe and know that you're going to get a real card, what do?
You go to like a major seller, like Card Kingdom, Star City Games, Channel Fireball,
ABU Games. You're going to get
your local LGS.
You know that because they know the cards. They know it's going to be real. You know you're going to get a real card. There's no problems.
There's
you don't even have to worry about it.
So you're willing to pay a premium for that trust.
Right. And so if you're going to buy on eBay, you do the same thing. You go and say, hey, I need a higher profile seller, maybe Kid Icarus or something like that. Power 9.
Power 9. Yep.
So you buy from them because you know they're going to give you cards that are legit. Yep. There's no transactional problem. However, with this is going to change the ballgame. A person with zero feedback can come in, list a card, and you know that you're completely going to be protected because they're going to send that card to an authentication service.
Yep.
In which case, you don't really need the bigger card guys.
You're either going to get your money back or you're going to get the card. That's what's going to happen.
And that just blows my mind because now you don't have to worry about feedback.
So what happens, though, is that, okay, let's just take a card. Say you had a $1,000 card, right? You go buy it from Card Kingdom or something like that. It's $1,000. And that same card being sold on eBay from a less well-known seller, say it was a $700 card, right? And so the market is like $750 to $1,000, depending on how trustworthy it is. And maybe some like well-known YouTube personality says, hey, I'll buy all these cards from you, send them to me, and they pay, right about the same as like a buy list on a store. So they're going to give you like $600 or something like that. Well, the thing is, though, you now have another option. You don't necessarily have to take these cards and sell it to that YouTube personality at $600 each.
Exactly.
You could just go right on eBay, even with low feedback, and you'll pay, 12% is gone out of the profit of it, but that's 12% is way more.
Yeah.
Or sorry, $400 is way more than the 12%.
Yeah. So there you go. You're actually going to be able to sell your cards. You won't have to go and buy list them because you'll have people that will come to you and say, oh, I know that guy's going to be authenticated.
Yeah.
So therefore I can buy from him.
Right.
I don't have any risk.
And so this actually, the way it impacts the ecosystem is all of those services that we're paying, like 60% of market price. I think they're going to have a harder time getting cards for 60% of market price because anyone who's willing to spend the time can sell it for nearly full value on eBay minus 12%.
Yeah, exactly. So no one should be able to go out and say, hey, I'll sell you the cards and you give me to me for 30% off. You won't be able to do that anymore.
At least you shouldn't.
It'd be highly unlikely, because as soon as people start realizing I have a set of power, I can list it whenever I want.
Yep. And now, yeah, you guys, like, I've harped on this before. So that some of you that are like selling like big collections to well-known personalities, and like we'll see them on YouTube being like, I bought this collection and it's got all these expensive cards. And like, although like I usually know and like those people, I got my head in my hands like, why did they sell it like that? Now that's even more pronounced. Like, like now I'm going to beat you up a little bit more. Like if you took $50,000 worth of cards that's mostly comprised in like 30, 40 cards, and you sell it to a YouTube personality, you deserve to be slapped. Because you just gave up a lot of money you didn't need to give up. But you should sell it as singles on eBay with this kind of thing.
Here's another ecosystem problem, though. If everybody out there starts realizing this, and they start listing their cards on eBay, because now they know they can sell it, well, that's going to put a lot of cards on eBay.
That will.
Which actually could push the prices down.
Yeah, the supply and demand is probably going to have to like weather this storm and be adjusted for a while. Because there could be a lot more supply coming in because people that were afraid to sell or they just didn't think they could get their value out of it might now be that much more willing to put them out there.
And here's another thing. What happens to TCG Player? They don't have an authentication system. So if they don't have an authentication system, they're not going to be able to compete with eBay in the future, or at least for high sell value.
Yeah, for the individual card sales, yes. Yeah, so like if you have an individual card, like I need to buy a Taiga from Unlimited or something like that, and it was going to be like $1,000, you don't have as much reason now to only go to TCG Player or to Channel Fireball versus eBay. So they will lose some market in there. But if you, and this is my opinion, I think this pans out. If I just wanted to go to like Card Kingdom and I wanted to buy like a stack of like collector's edition, less expensive, $10 each cards, it's still better to go to like Card Kingdom and be like ding 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 ding, put a ton of thing into like a checkout box, and then do like a $2,000 transaction for a lot of cards. That's still way better in like
it's
a TCG
still,
Player.
because you do have to pay shipping and handling on each individual card, because they are sending them individually to the authentication place. That is one thing that is really kind of bad, that you can't do multiple shippings to one seller.
So everything that we just told you is things that could happen based on this, how that market could shift. Now let's say I'm Card Kingdom and I've got all these Power 9 cards that are like $8,000, $10,000 a piece, right? And I think there's a possibility that more of the cards may come into the market and people are going to get a better price and compete with me on eBay. Card Kingdom might look at this and think, well, I don't know if I want to be holding these cards anymore.
I might have to price match or drop it.
Yeah, so they might list theirs for sale at like a lower price. They might try to just move them out because this eBay thing is coming in. There's something to be said there. Like that could actually affect that market, and major retailers that are holding on to cards worth more than $750 might suddenly have a reason to liquidate them to some extent.
Yes. Now, what I usually see from whenever I see postings from Card Kingdom or from David Adams Card World is if you're buying from eBay, it usually costs more than if you actually go to their website currently. So that's because they're going to give you that 10 or 12% that you're actually going to not pay them. So it's always better to just go to their website.
Yep. Then there's always the possibility that eBay somehow screws this up and people like start using it, but then they decide this service is terrible and then they run the other direction. I don't know. But like,
that's true.
These are all things to think about, you guys. Like, so if this escrow eBay service is legit, it could definitely shake up the market on prices.
I would think so. I think it's actually going to change it quite a bit. I don't know what's really going to happen.
And honestly, like, even if I do have some card prices dropping because a lot of inventory hits, honestly, I think it's a good idea because I think a more secure free market system of cards being able to trade back and forth, I think is a good thing. People not being ripped off is a good thing. Removing scammers from it is good. And so although there could be a temporary drop in prices, maybe the overall faith and the overall hobby long-term goes up. So maybe wherever cards were headed long-term price-wise, maybe that was capped based on like, you know, scams, fear, things like that. Maybe there's a short-term supply that hits and prices drop, but then long-term, maybe it goes higher than it ever would have.
Because it's actually moving money, you know, money from one
Yeah,
place to
and
another.
there's just trust in it, basically.
But right now it's only at $750. If they do lower it to $250, eventually, I mean, this would be huge. Think of all the revised lands and all that kind of stuff coming into that frame of reference.
Oh yeah,
Counter spells.
yeah.
From Beta
If
and
that
all
price,
kind of stuff.
yeah, maybe that should even be a whole separate video. But
Oh my
because it
God.
could be, because like if the price drops from $750 to $200 or $250, there's a lot more cards that suddenly fall into that category of what would qualify for this.
Oh yeah, I mean that actually has some. I think there's actually still some cards that can be sold loose that are actually from Modern.
Yep.
What about Kaladesh cards? Loose? Are they still expensive?
Well, the inventions are definitely
that's what I'm talking
expensive.
about.
Oh yeah, there's inventions.
So there's
inventions
tons
that'll
of
go
cards.
over the $750 mark. Probably.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're not just talking about that. I mean, it's crazy how much this could actually affect everything.
You know, another thing that this could do is if you are someone who has a company capable of doing this escrow service, this authentication, there might even be a growing need for it, because like this is a whole market that honestly, like I've thought should be there for years, and I almost started businesses on this thing, doing this escrow service.
You and Tavis have talked.
Yeah, we talked about this. We literally were considering doing something like this.
But it's a lot of work and a lot of risk on yourself.
Sure. Which is why it was tough for us. It's easier for eBay than it is for just like 3 dudes. But anyways,
Three dudes. There was a website name.
If you're capable
Or a
of doing
movie that's really
authentication
bad.
service, like you're one of these new grading card companies that are starting up, you might want to actually reach out to eBay, because there's the chance that this actually becomes a big thing. And they just get a flood of cards that need to be authenticated, and they just have this many number of people doing authentication and this much to authenticate.
Well, they're doing it through CGC, so it is a company that actually works well, and we think that the prices. We think they probably negotiated a really good price, but that company may get overwhelmed, and you might need to be there.
Yeah,
to catch
that's
the
my
overflow.
point. Yeah, and if they get overwhelmed, then some of you other grading, authenticating type companies might want to reach out to eBay and say, hey, if and when CGC gets overwhelmed, we're capable too. Or maybe CGC is on like the East Coast and you got something on the West Coast that could do it or something. There's options open. So the point is, like, even that market could expand quite a bit.
I'm surprised Beckett doesn't try to get a piece of that action, though.
You know, Beckett, in my opinion, has been like face planting for years now.
Yeah.
Like, you know, with this whole grade, we're backed up, we can't find graders. Meanwhile, like, I could name in like a minute, I could probably name 50 people that would be capable of doing grading and willing to be paid for it.
Yeah,
so
but
come
not
on,
willing
Beckett.
not willing to be paid minimum wage.
I don't think. Well, the amount they're charging. How much does Beckett charge?
$25 a card, I think.
How about for like a 2-week turnaround?
2-week turnaround?
Yeah.
About $20 a card.
$20?
Yeah.
For 2-week turnaround?
Well, no, it's like a month or 6-month turnaround.
No, I'm saying for if you go to Beckett and you want like a 2-week.
The 125. You're talking about the 125.
Yeah, exactly. That's margin. If they're getting $125 for someone to say this is a real card, put it in a slab and give it these grades, yeah, there's margin there to pay people a good salary.
They don't want to, though. They'd rather pay them $14 an hour. Or $10
That's my point. That's where Beckett is face flopping. They're being stupid.
I actually have no idea how much they're paying their employees. I really don't.
Well, what I'm saying is
making an estimate.
if you can get someone to authenticate a card within 10 minutes, and then you can be paid several $100s for that process, there's margin there to pay them more than minimum wage.
There's huge margin.
Yeah, so Beckett could solve that problem, and yet they have like 2 years of inventory backed up. So no, I'm faulting Beckett on that. I don't think they're doing it right. I think they're missing an opportunity, in my opinion.
Them itself.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So anyways, yeah, we think that this could definitely shake up the market. I think the discussions...
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, the discussions should begin, you guys.
I mean, this is just... It's incredible.
Yep. So good job to eBay for doing this kind of service. And yeah, let's see where this goes.
Yeah. I think it's going to be fantastic. All right.
Okay.
Talk to y'all again real soon.
Bye, everybody.